Until recently, the bright red iiwi was a fairly common native bird of the Hawaiian Islands. However, it is becoming harder and harder to find. Why is this? Join us in a tour of the island of Kauai as we learn about all of the factors that influenced the iiwi and other native species from the birth of Kauai 5.1 million years ago to the present day. Aptly named, Kauai is a paradise where one can find pineapples, coconut palms, beautiful tropical flowers, and tropical birds. But wait, these are all introduced. How did they get here, and where are the native species? So, let's start at the beginning, before Kauai existed. Deep under the ocean, there is a magma hotspot. The Pacific Plate slowly slides over this. Every few million years, the magma comes to the surface, creating an island. The Pacific Plate keeps moving. Kauai may have looked something like this in the beginning. Due to its distance from other land masses, it took a long time for plant and animal species to find and then colonize the islands. For millennia, rain and ocean waves slowly eroded the new surface. The rains washed minerals into the shallow offshore waters, providing nutrients for early colonizers, such as the corals. The corals, in turn, supported communities of fish and other creatures. Eventually, land colonizers began to arrive. Over time, the corals and lava were broken down by ocean surf, creating beaches. This created new habitat for other species. Two mammal species also found the island, this seal and a bat. Plant seeds either washed ashore or were carried by birds, and some sprouted. It is estimated that one species of plant reached the islands and survived every 20,000 years. Spores of ferns probably blew in on high winds. Indigenous species are ones that arrived in Kauai on their own and have not evolved appreciably since. They can be found in other parts of the world as well. Here are some other indigenous species that reached the islands. After reaching the islands, some species evolved over millions of years into new species. They are known as endemics and are found nowhere else in the world. Well before Kauai broke the ocean's surface, a small group of finch-like birds may have been blown off course from eastern Asia. They made it to the Hawaiian Islands, and over the next several million years evolved into what we now know as the honeycreepers. As each new island formed, new habitat became available. This allowed the honeycreepers to continue to adapt and evolve, eventually diversifying into about 60 species. Here, the apapane is feeding on blossoms of the Ohi'a lehua tree. The Ohi'a lehua is found all over the island. Near the top of the island, there is a roller coaster of a trail that goes to the Alaka'i swamp, an area of mostly undisturbed and unique native habitat. Hikers who continue to the viewpoint may be treated to a view of the North Shore if it's a nice day. Here are some more indigenous species, which may be familiar to viewers living on the mainland. Many of the indigenous species visit only during migration. These images were taken in the spring. This is a view of Waimea Canyon on the southwest side of the island from the highway overlook. Looking back, here's the view from the falls. This is the one indigenous species of owl in Hawaii that reached the islands all by itself. Here is the plover, first in its winter plumage, and now in its breeding plumage, ready to head north. There's an intriguing theory about this bird, which we'll cover next.